Right, so we've got Joe back. If you haven't seen the video we did before with Joe, I'll link it up here in the corner somewhere. Go and watch that. Got some really good comments. People like seeing you playing golf, Joe. Good news, his handicap's come down. You're now off
28 now, so
28. So he's coming down. So a lot of comments saying he should be better than 30. He is better than 30. He's coming down. So we're going to do a slightly different format here. We're going to play, well, first of all, we're going to start on this 17th hole, par 5, and we've got a counter up here for Joe, counter up here for me. So we're going to basically get Joe to hit the shot that he would off this hole, and then I'm going to sort of coach Joe and tell him what I would get him to do. Whoever hits the best shot gets the point. We're going to choose that ball, go to that ball, and again hit 2 shots. One how Joe would hit it, one with him basically doing what I would advise him to, and again we're going to see who gets their best result. So we're going to basically play the hole, see how many shots we each get. So Joe's got a picks ball, and the one he's going to hit with my sort of methods is the stripes, just so we know whose is whose ball. Oh, really good, mate. Perfect.
not bad for the first shot of the day.
Take that, wouldn't you? Right, swap you over. There's the ball. So obviously going to peg this a little bit higher. So the first thing we're going to do, when we did this in that first video, and we got a lot of comments from this, take your setup here.
Yep.
Because what we want to try and do is, you've got some practice swings here, and then you've obviously got the swing. When you're over the balls, when you're standing here about to hit the shot, we don't want you technically thinking about, you know, your wrist or your hand or anything like that, because it's not the best way to basically hit the best shot.
Right.
But there's nothing to stop you having some feels and some swings before you hit it to build some movement, and then you go and hit the shot. So take your setup from here, okay? And I want you to have a look at the club face. That's clearly pretty square.
Yep.
And you're going to make some little backswings, okay? And I want you to do this continually without stopping. You're just going to go back, and then you're going to return that club closed. Okay, so you can see the club is pointing sort of down towards my left foot, okay? Now you're not going to stop there. You're going to basically let the club kind of rotate, but you see how we're just never stopping. And by never stopping, you're working more feels than anything else. Okay, so there's your feel. Just trying to get a feeling what that's like, not overthinking it, just getting a feel what that's like, let that club face release over, okay? Now we need to pick targets, okay? So you see the tree on the left-hand side, the one that kind of encroaches into the fairway?
Yep.
I want you to basically look at that top branch that sticks out.
Yeah.
Go 5 paces right of it.
Yep.
Down to the ground. There's your target. Yeah, perfect, mate. So there's that little left to right.
Yeah.
But we planned for that. You know, we knew that was likely to happen. So perfect. So theoretically, that should be a little bit further down.
I think definitely think so.
Okay, mate, what are you going to go with?
6 iron. I would go with my hybrid, but I'm just more confident off the fairway, at least with a.
Yeah, you're confident with that off the tee, aren't you?
Yeah.
But just when it's on the ground. Not...
Yeah, I think it's when it's not teed up. It's that's kind of where.
Okay.
I get a bit.
I mean, it's a par 5, so you know that you've got a long way. How far do you think you've got to the green?
To the green. That's good. I reckon 260.
Yes, you've got 309.
Oh, okay. So a lot more.
It's a long par 5. So you go ahead and hit yours, and then obviously we'll go through maybe a slightly different approach. That's right. You got past that tree, which is the main thing. I think you're still in the rough, aren't you? But that's not too bad. Okay. So I'm going to get you to hit hybrid. So we're going to do the same sort of thing, but we need to choose a target. So I want your target to be the greenside bunkers on the left. Okay. Now, obviously, you're not going to reach those greenside bunkers, but if we take that line up, you can see that's just under these tree branches. Yeah. If you hit it there, perfect. If it leaks to the right, again, we've got fairway, and even into that right rough is okay. So we're generally, with these clubs, we're always picking targets which are sort of left of maybe where we ideally want to be, just because we know your shot pattern in mind. So when you actually come to hit it, which is not just yet, but I want you to be using, you see these little marks here? Yep. Those are going to be your alignment aids. Okay, so when you actually come in to hit the shot, you want the club face to be pointing at that, build your stance around it. Okay, so I think that one goes down as a point for you. Was that just because you're a little bit uncomfortable over it, do you think?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think maybe I was almost hitting it like a driver. I feel like there
was no contact with the ground, was there? Which is key. Tell you what, let me grab another ball just so we can hit another one. So walk in with that in mind. So club face goes at that, and then build your stance around it. So trying to stick to the same routine. Yeah, much better, much better. Oh, why didn't you do that first time? Why didn't you do that first time?
Wow, yeah. A lot better.
Yeah, really good. Really good. Right, Joe, so this is where your shot finished.
Yep.
I'm going to put that ball down because that's the one we're going to hit in a moment. That was your hybrid we hit. It's a good 20 yards on, but we can't take it because that was your second attempt. So what club you got?
I got 6 iron for this one again.
Okay. How far do you think you've got? Because you don't use any technology on them. We said this in the first video. Obviously, I've got the watch here and I use the laser, so I can see distances, and obviously if I swipe I can see the layout of the green and stuff. But how far do you think you've got to, let's say, the middle of the green?
I reckon I've got about 190.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and hit the 6 iron. So you've actually got 163 to the middle.
Oh, okay, so I had quite a bit less then.
You tend to have your practice swings here, and then you'll tend to shuffle in. Now, for me, what happens a little bit is you get your practice swings here. Sometimes you'll stand and your posture's good, and then you'll make your practice swings a little bit, and then sometimes that posture will go a little bit. Then you shuffle in, and sometimes that affects alignment, and I just like that process to be a little bit different. 6 iron is good for you. So we need to pick a target. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick your target, choose a shot you want to hit. So you've got that clear. You then go practice swings, see the shot, walk in and hit it. So you're going to be going between the flag and the bunker. Okay. So almost kind of the edge of the green as it kind of cuts in. So there's your target. And when I'm picking targets, they're always specific. It's not like here, it's always specific. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you're a 30-yard handicapper or a 2-handicapper. Okay, so practice swings roughly where you are first, and these are just feel based. So these aren't technical, these are just you trying to get a nice rhythm, nice timing. Okay, and now you just stand back, see the shot you're trying to hit, pick your target, and then now as you step in, now you're fully committed to that shot that you're hitting. It's a great shot, mate. Really good. Really good. It's just going to get just short left of the green. Much better shot. To me, it's just separating that process. For me, you'll walk in and your practice swings and your routine all just gets a little bit kind of bundled into one. All we're doing there is just completely separating that process. So, take your mind?
I think so, yeah.
2-1 up. Okay, Joe. What club you got?
I got 60 degree.
Okay. So, I don't know how well the camera picks this up, but it's kind of going uphill a little bit, but it's pretty tight fringe grass. But then you're onto the green and obviously you've got the flag there. So the shot itself is probably 20, 25 yards. Yeah,
I'd say so.
But you're choosing to chip that. Okay, go for it. Use the right ball, come on. Use your pick, just so we know whose shot it is. Brilliant. Good shot, really. Were you happy with that?
Yeah.
Very good. I mean, you judged it well because it was coming off that slope. I reckon that's 5 feet. Perfect. Right, so I've got 7 iron and putter. So I want you to play this a little bit lower to the ground. Which of those two would you feel more comfortable with?
Probably the putter. I'd say. Okay. Yeah.
So this is one of those situations where you could probably take almost any of the clubs in your bag and get it close. You've chosen 60, hit it high, and you've got great results, okay? But I think over 100 shots, I think there's probably a better way to have a better grouping. So 7 iron and putter would obviously play the ball much lower to the ground, which I think is safer. And what we're trying to do here is trying to find a balance of hitting a shot which I think is going to give you more consistent results, but also keeping you within your comfort zone. So it's no good if I say to you, let's play 7 iron chip and run, if you tell me that over the ball you feel terrible, you've got no confidence, you feel out your comfort zone because the result's going to be poor. So we've got to play the percentage shot, but also what's within your comfort zone, and that's why putter's the option, okay? So we know this is going to be left to right because we just saw your ball kind of come there. So what I'll be asking you now is, if you stay where you are, see this little feather? Where do you think the ball's got to go relative to that?
Left
of it, okay?
Yeah.
And what about, do you want to go into this fringe area?
I think I just want to be inside the fringe.
Okay. So by using little reference points on the ground, what I've actually encouraged you to do is kind of visually see the putt, okay? And that's a great way to think about it. You know, you're trying to sort of figure out how your ball's going to get to the hole and how it's going to go past, you know, marks, leaves, bits of rough. So you're starting to picture the travel of that ball, okay? Now, similar to before, you still want to stand back here and pick a sort of an intermediate target, but I want you to now, when you're ready, stand inside the ball, and I want your practice strokes to be looking at the hole and just letting the putter swing. Not thinking about it's going back a foot, it's going through a foot, I've got to accelerate, I've got to make sure I change direction, none of that stuff, just literally looking at the hole, reacting, 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 and as I'm doing this, I'm starting to sort of visually see that journey. When you're ready, walk in and go, okay? Just reacting to it, not overthinking it, just reacting to it. Okay. Good putt. Really good putt. I mean, you'd be happy with both of those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, the one that you hit, I think, is left, but it's a better distance. That one was a better line, but it's gone a little bit past.
Yeah.
We'll have to go measure those so you hit the best shot. So, I mean, they were both good shots.
Yeah, definitely.
Not a lot in it. This one, I mean, mine is slightly closer. This one is also a little bit downhill, but I mean, you're not really thinking of that when you're chipping, but it's pretty good. So I reckon we've got 5 feet.
Yeah, I reckon so.
And this is for your par better ball score. So I'll let you just do what you would do, and then obviously I might change a few things. Maybe 6 feet, maybe a little bit longer, maybe 6 feet. Okay. So how would you analyse that?
Well, I knew it was going off. It was going to go to the left because it came round this way. But I thought it wasn't going to be that much.
So you underread it?
Yeah.
Okay. So at least you know that. At least because you use the line of the ball, which we've got you doing, you can start to analyse it. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I've gotten a slight advantage now because I've seen what that putt does. But I know. I mean, my suspicion there was you were slightly underread it. I thought you'd be a little closer, but I thought you'd underread it. So how would you assess the pace on that first putt?
I think that's all right pace.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
I'd agree. So I'm going to line this ball up for you. Okay. And again, similar to what we said for the full swing, this one you're going to do your practice strokes here, rather than the back, because you want the same perspective that you would be over the ball. It's no good doing your practice swings from here for me because you're a different distance. Yeah. But you need to separate the line and the pace. So if this was me, and I've done the line for you, but if this was you, we'd be putting the line on the ball, which is obviously a little bit more out to the right than where you were, and maybe even need to go a fraction more than that. And then once you step back here and you go, I'm happy with that line, as you step in, line is done. It's all about stroke and pace. Okay. Okay. So looking at that hole, if you imagine that as a clock face, 12 o'clock being here, 6 o'clock here, where's it going in?
Kind of like
4 or 5?
Yeah.
So that's what you've got to visualise. So the back of the hole is now here. Okay, because you imagine the ball's coming in this way, this is the back, this is the front. And even just visually seeing, when you look up, seeing the front of the hole as being here rather than here is a big mental sort of change, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
So go ahead and use the line on the ball, but now when you have your practice strokes, you're not thinking of line, you're just thinking of pace and what you need to do, and seeing that ball going in at that sort of, 4 o'clock position. And almost tracing a line along the ground as you're doing that. And then go ahead and hit it. Okay, so the pace was a little bit different there. Okay, so you can see how the pace was a little bit stronger, which is why it didn't take its break. Okay, so we'll obviously give you those. That's a 6, but let's go ahead and just do that again. Yeah. Okay, so again, pace, isn't it? Okay, so we'll give you one of those. That was a 6, and we'll call those a halves. I think that was 3 shots to me, 1 shot to you, and then we halved on 1. Okay, right, let's go and play another one. Okay. Right, par 3, 15. Nice pin. Greenkeeper's got a bit, interesting with that pin location. Right, so, I'm not going to tell you how far it is actually. What club have you got?
I got 6 iron.
Okay, how far do you think it is?
The back markers over there somewhere said it was 185.
Okay.
So, yeah, I reckon I could potentially get the front of the green.
Okay.
So
That's it. Didn't quite middle it, but it was a nice swing, wasn't it? It's gone pretty straight. So you've got 173 middle, 186 back. Okay. So the last hole we played, the 6 iron we hit into the green. If you remember, you hit yours and it went to the left, and then we did a bit and we hit mine and we chose mine.
yeah, yeah.
What was that swing like?
Oh yeah, a lot better.
Good swing?
Yeah, yeah.
You had 160 something to the middle, and where was that ball?
Not even on the green. Yeah.
Okay, so if that was 160 odd to the middle, you hit a good shot just short. If that's 172,
Yeah, if I hit a bad shot, then it's
6 iron's not good. So I'm
Yeah.
going to get it to hybrid. So you've got line of the ball, which is kind of going just left of your ball.
right.
Because again, we've got a plan with that little left to right curve in mind.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it teed up, obviously, because if you can, you should. Same thing, practice swings here. Get the feel, that toe releasing over. Once you've done that, step back, see the shot, go and hit it. Same as before. That's it. And then this is your moment of stillness. See the shot you're trying to hit. Okay, unlucky. That was definitely a better club, wasn't it? Because it's gone past the bunker, but it's obviously a little bit out to the right. So that's fine. Well, I reckon we'll be taking yours there, but it was a better club. We just didn't hit as good a shot. So we've chosen Joe's tee shot. The one we hit with a hybrid was actually much better for distance,
Yeah.
but it was not a great lie, was it? It was
Yeah.
probably an easier shot to get to the flag had the lie been better, because it was kind of just to the right of the green. So it was touch and go, but we've taken Joe's just because the lie is better. That one was a really tricky lie, and it was harder to predict what was the outcome. So tough shot here. You can see, you know, rise up to the green, and then obviously flag sort of tucked away there. What have you got?
I got 60.
Okay,
Yeah.
go for it. Let's hit it. Let's see.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so a little left, but if you stay there, it landed in sort of here. So in terms of distance, was that where you intended to land it?
No, not really. I think I took a bit of ground with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see straight away I've got a different club. So I've got 54. And there's 2 reasons I've got 54 for you. So if you take that one. Number one, it needs to be through the air because you've got this band of rough that you can't really roll it along.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be like super high. The greens are getting a bit softer, so therefore 54, I still think you've got, I mean, you can probably see from the other camera, you've still got 15, 20 feet of green.
Yeah.
And the other thing which is there is you're on an upslope.
Yeah.
So an upslope basically builds height into the shot.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you had 60, without making any adjustments, it's going to go offline maybe like a 64, and then if it goes higher, it doesn't go as far. So when you're over that ball, I'm already thinking it's probably going to be shorter here. So what we either do is you either say, okay, we're going to use the slope and then go down in loft, or you can fight the slope. Okay, so what I want you to do, take your setup, and I want you to lean into the slope a little bit. So we've given you less loft, and we're fighting the slope a little bit. Now what that means is that when you hit it, you probably will get a bit of a divot because you're going into the slope. But we have to sort of look at the conditions, the environment, and then make a decision based on that. Okay, not bad. Still need a little bit more speed, but you can see the interaction with the ground was as we wanted. You're a little bit steeper, ball flight came out a little bit lower. It's a better shot, but could have just used a little bit more speed. Okay, but I think that's now 4-2.
4-2.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're putting, with your short shots around the green, always try and analyse. You know, so was it the trajectory we wanted? Pretty much. Was it the direction we wanted? Pretty much. Was it as hard as we wanted? Not enough. So is it the trajectory that's wrong? Is it the line that's wrong? Always try and sort of take something from it. You know, the more you can reflect on what you do, and then the next time you're faced with that situation, you can learn from it a little bit. So, all right, go for it, hit your putt, and then I'll kind of go through a little bit what I would do. Probably 25 feet maybe?
Yeah, I'd say so. Oh wow, that keeps going.
Okay. So how did you read that?
from right to left,
Okay.
but not much. But I mean, it broke quite a bit, really.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of break on this in terms of the severity of the slope, but it's probably breaking for 75% of its putt. You know, it's sloping. I mean, this first part isn't, but then after that it does. So a small slope over a 30-foot putt will have a big effect. So I've got that line obviously on the ball there, which is a lot more out to the right.
Yeah.
So again, it's process, process, process. The more that you can be feeling the putt, the better, which means that line is done. Okay, better line.
Yeah.
Still a little bit strong in the pace,
Yeah.
but a better line. Oh, you read that absolutely perfectly. I mean, that was, yeah, I wouldn't have got you to a lot different there. You're obviously a little bit short on pace, but I mean, you read it perfectly. Obviously, the putts we hit were from over there, so we knew, you know, and again, you always want to watch it past the hole because you've got that putt coming back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to get you to a lot different other than try and
actually hold it.
hit it that much further, okay? Oh,
there you go.
got the pace right. There we go. Really good, really good. Right, so a pretty good putt there to finish. Nice left to righter, but dropped it in the middle. Perfect putt. So I think the total there was 6 of the shots were ones that I did, and 2 of the shots were the ones that Joe did. So, you know, big difference there. You know, there's definitely a couple of shots that we would have liked to improve on, a couple of loose shots, but Joe plays off 20, I would expect that. But I think, you know, 6-2 kind of proves that if you go through the right process, the right strategy, if you just take a little bit more time over your yardages and just get all of those things done before you actually step in and hit the shot, there's a far greater chance of you actually getting a good result. So hopefully Joe's learned some things there, and hopefully you've learned some things as well to help take to the course next time you play to drop those scores.